place to be. Analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna win. When happy, it's we, when mad, it's them. It's a safe place, Murali End. Sri Lanka cricket, we gon' represent. So tell a friend.
Welcome to the Murali End. That was our new intro created for us by our good friend in Sydney, the rapper Lycon, rapper and master Sri Lanka cricket fan, and of course Murali End regular Lycon. Do check him out if you haven't had a chance to already. I'm not sure what you guys thought, but it felt a little bit loud when I played it, but it doesn't matter because
it was perfect.
It was perfect, yeah. We are here to discuss Sri Lanka's what turned out to be quite an easy, let's say, romping win against Bangladesh in our opening game of the Asia Cup. The Murali End is, of course, powered by kidrated.com. Go check it out. Even if you don't have children, just to see what children make of the various things going on around London. I'm joined today by the Professor of Cricketology, Dominic Machado, and Sri Lanka's #1 cricket historian, Nick Brooks. I myself am called Mark Machado. Thank you for coming. We'll give you guys a chance to join us and have a chat with us. Tell us what you think. I'm really interested to know what you think because I have some strong thoughts. Dominic and Nick have been witness to my WhatsApp messages all the way through Sri Lanka's through the first innings when I was quite upset about something, and but it's fine. We got the result we wanted, didn't we, Nick? It's all good, isn't it?
Yeah, not just the result, a comprehensive result, right? To win it with 5 overs to spare. The bowling power play was fantastic, right? When you got a team none for 2 after 2 overs, you just kind of feel like it's going to be your day. I thought Chamira was especially brilliant. I thought Hasaranga was excellent through the middle overs, and really nice for Kamil Mishara, a guy who's new to international cricket, coming into the team in a big tournament, going to be some nerves there to get a nice red ink, get some runs. So yeah, job done. I don't think it was perfect from Sri Lanka. I think there were quite a few moments where the cricket gods smiled upon them. I thought Bangladesh were really, really poor through their top order and their batting power play, and there are days where Sri Lanka are going to have to be slicker as they move through, hopefully, to the Super Fours.
Yeah, Dom, I want to talk about the moment I was slightly worried this game was kind of getting away from Sri Lanka, which I think was overs 11 and 12 when we were bowling. We had them on the ropes. They were 5 for 55, and then we bring in our 2 part-timers, Dustin Sharnaka and Charath Hasaranga, and that just lets their batters that kind of find a bit of form there, and kind of what I thought we'd be able to bowl them all out for about around 100-ish, go on and get 140. At the end, it didn't matter, but I still am really nervous, and I've obviously got the result that we saw in England yesterday where they scored 300 runs in 20 overs. I'm really nervous about playing slightly better teams than Bangladesh, with not having 20 recognised overs in our bowling attack.
Yeah. I think we both messaged each other saying this is a trick that's definitely been missed here. You're up on top of Bangladesh. I think in terms of, for me, it's mentality. You get Dushmantha Chamira back in there. You get Hasaranga, you keep Hasaranga in there, and you say, let's challenge these guys as much as we can before they get started. Okay, there was a little bit of unluckiness for Sri Lanka, that ball to Jakar Ali that hit the stumps, lit up the bails, but didn't dislodge them. I mean, that's just incredible stuff. But I think the big thing here is you want to see that winning mentality, that takes those positions where you're 53 for 5 and just make sure that they're winning ones, right? Getting to 140 from there without any wickets lost is not what you want to see. So I think that's a big thing. I think the other question that comes up here is Pathirana had a little bit of an off day. I still think you keep him in the 11 because of the diversity of attack he gives you. But when you're not playing with a 5th bowler, they can target whoever's having a bad day and the 5th bowler. So I think that's something to think about. I think 7 batters pretty much tells you that they don't trust their batting lineup. I wonder if you might bring in someone like Dunith Walalage as a stopgap here, where someone who's going to lengthen your batting and someone who can bowl a bit.
Nick, what do you think? Do you think that the lineup that we saw today is something or the configuration of it in terms of bowlers and batters is a lineup that could get us into the latter stages of this tournament?
Yeah, I think it certainly can get us into the latter stages, that lineup. I think we've taken a big step towards it today.
There's a funny comment that Savina's just put in. He said, Bale and Aiton Cotterman come to the game. It felt like that, isn't it? I mean, there was no one of those that Bale over, was there?
But yeah, I don't think it's ideal having to rely on Dasson and Charith for 4 overs. And I think, as Dom said, Pathirana does have days like today. Increasingly over the past 12 months, he's lost his radar a bit in terms of wides. And so I think having a little bit more cushion that can provide something in case he's not going great. And I mean, today was a pretty nice bowling friendly pitch, right? Where Dasson looked fairly effective on flatter tracks. You're potentially serving up 4 overs that can go for, I mean, who knows if pair of Indian batters take a liking to them, Charith and Dasson's 4 can end up going for 90.
Yeah.
I just can't see a situation where if you've got to face India, that you go in with kind of 16 recognised overs. To me, that is just absolute nonsense. I just want to pull up this comment because it could have been written by me. Harin Abiseka has said, I've seen enough. Old Lanka is back and going to win the World T20 and lift the cup in Ahmedabad. Look, it's the road to Ahmedabad. I said this was the first stop on the way. This is the service station, the Asia Cup, right? We're not going to win the Asia Cup of one good performance against Bangladesh. We definitely could have taken a step backwards today. I was, at the innings break, I was trying to figure out when was the last time we went to a major tournament like this and actually played well in the first game. It's a long time ago, isn't it? I think you probably have to go back to 2015? Was that the last time? I'm trying to think. I feel like we've been fairly consistently starting
bad in
badly.
that first game, yeah.
South Africa, Bangladesh, Namibia, man. Like
New Zealand blew us out in 2019.
Yeah.
Even the Asia Cup Sri Lanka won, it was Afghanistan in the first game, right?
Out for 108 or something like that.
Yeah. So it feels like I kind of feel like actually the last few weeks coming into this tournament, from the point when Bangladesh turned up till actually last Sunday, we are a week away. It was a week ago that we collapsed and had an 80 all out, right? It was last Saturday, and in that last week, it seemed to me like we've kind of somehow pulled it together. I don't know what's going on there, but we were sensational in parts today, right, Dom?
Yeah, I thought the intensity that we opened the game with was incredible. There was no lackadaisical attitude. They were at it. I love Charith giving Nuwan Thushara 3 overs in the power play to take advantage of that swing that he was getting. They didn't put a back foot down. They were going for wickets. Chamira was brilliant. How about that? Out of the side for about 18 months, and he comes back, and he has been absolutely exceptional over the last 5 games. The Yorkers at the back end, hitting that back of the length early on, all amazing stuff. And then to see what Kamil Mishara is doing. And he looks a guy who's not just putting together some runs here or there, but he looks a proper player, good power. I tweeted this out a few minutes ago, but his strike rate in T20 cricket, all told, is 144. So this is not a guy who is just smashing it about here, but someone who's actually done it at the level. And the number, if you follow Sri Lankan domestic cricket, the number of guys who actually do that, not very high. And so we see it coming together. We can see the vision. And now it's just fine-tuning. It's spending these next few months saying, okay, this is our side. What's our bowling combination going to be? 6-5, 7-4, and then figure it out.
Nick, it's a different conversation we're having at the moment now, right? Because for a long time in Sri Lankan cricket, you only felt that there was maybe kind of 13, maybe 14 out of push players who were able to play at the highest international level. Now it feels like we've not just got depth, but we've got many possibilities about the way we can take the side, right? We can all talk about there's about 6 or 7 players who I feel could easily walk into this squad at this moment in time, right? So the conversation we're having is around whether or not they're getting the team selection right, whether or not we're getting the balance right. This is uncharted territory for us, right?
In recent history, that's pretty uncharted, man. It's a long way from the field where you're struggling to find 11 dudes to get on the bus, right? I think these are really good problems to have. And yeah, the depth's fantastic. It's great to see someone like Kamil Mishara come in and do so well. I've been banging the drum that Kamindu should be batting at 3, but to have a guy like Kamindu Mendes who's a spare part, who doesn't bat or doesn't bowl and is there just to field, I think it's an illustration of how deep Sri Lanka's stocks are right now.
And I just want to bring up this comment by Savina because it kind of speaks to what Mark brought up and what Nick was just talking about. So Savina writes, even Russell Arnold during the commentary said that during the last T20I series against Bangladesh, Sri Lanka did not have Chamira, Hasaranga, or Pathirana, and what a change they brought about. Hasaranga was due to injury, but it kind of tells you it's a little bit mad that those guys, Chamira and Pathirana, were not in the side, right? Because you can see very clearly that they're difference makers. So who knows? Maybe Mark's theory that they were trying some stuff out was right, and now they're like, okay, let's be plain and simple about it and get our best players into the side.
So I don't want to say the issue, the kind of when I compare them to the way the England team is run, right? England come out and tell you, right, this is the squad we're picking for this series because we want to try and give these guys a go, and these guys need a break, and we want to see what these guys can do. Sri Lanka could never do that. They just pick a squad, you just accept it. That's it. Which makes us as fans think every game we are there to win. Every game is to when to some degree they are thinking ahead, right? I don't know. We don't know because they don't talk to us. We don't know how they've got to this 11. Right? we have absolutely no idea. I didn't think that they'd play 2 slingers today, considering we have seen games in the not so distant past where they have played no slingers. So there's a lot of speculation around what we end up doing, which I think actually the management could kind of control. They could have more control of the narrative a little bit, right? Mm-hmm. They do. When you speak to people in and around the team, me and Nick have spent time in and around the side, not in the side, but around the side, I should say. They do have strategy coming up. Dominic's so excited he switched his camera off. Guys, I'm going to put the link in to come and have a chat with us. If you want to come in and have a chat with us, you definitely can do. Nick, I think it is a long tournament. I think we've got to turn our attention towards what happens against Hong Kong. I mean, Hong Kong, China. What 11 do we play against Hong Kong, China?
I would just keep things as they are, Marky. I don't see any reason to change it, right? I mean, what's the situation with Theeks? He's injured, right?
I'm not sure if he's injured. I think he's just dropped.
Okay, he was just dropped.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Theeks, and I would prefer. I think do you need batting down to 8? Are we still relying on Wanindu as a batter? I think that Dasson can go for Theeks that would be the way I'd structure the team. Or as Dom said, if you feel like you do need the extra batting, maybe Weller in for Shanaka. But I think 12 overs of seam, 8 overs of spin. And then you've got a higher quality attack and you've got to back the batters that you have. That's the only change I'd make. I don't think messing about with the batting lineup makes too much sense at this stage of the tournament.
See, so my thought is you probably want a right-handed batter, right? You probably want, so dropping Shanaka to me is a problem. And in terms of pace hitting at the death, he's still the best they have. This might sound unpopular to some, but I wonder whether you could drop KJP and let Charith bat at 4, or Charith or Kamindu or whoever you want to bat at 4 if Charles
Yeah,
really wants to hold on to that.
I actually think that's a better move than what I suggested. I'm with you, Dom.
That to me looks like the obvious change, right? I mean, KJP is an absolutely phenomenal player, and every time I think that maybe he's come to the end, he always proves me wrong. But I think actually, if you look at our batting lineup, he to me looks like the most inconsistent. Even today, I mean, if we win all 3 matches, which is obviously our intent, the run rate doesn't matter. But he should have tried to just see it out. That should have been his thing. I think
to forget all his shots apart from the reverse sweep. I was like, well, you've left the rest of them back in Sri Lanka. He's only
He only bought one. He wasn't allowed any check-in luggage, guys.
This is a great question here. Do you think Mishara can survive at least 1 over?
No way.
I will say I've seen him bat live, and that was one of the most I feared for his life when he was batting against South Africa.
Minefield.
Yeah, on that I was like, if he survives this, he'll be lucky.
Guys, should we take? There's a couple of people lined up to talk to us. I'll bring Nilan onto the stage first. Is he there? Oh no, hold on. What have I done? There you go, Nilan. What do you think of that win? Oh,
we can't hear you.
Can't hear you. I think you're muted or. No, can't hear you. I'll remove you off stage, and just figure out how to when your microphone's done, and we'll bring you back on. In the meantime, I'll bring Shane up. Shane, Lycon, thanks for your intro, bro.
That was awesome.
No worries.
So good.
I appreciate the support.
How you feeling after that win?
Man, I feel so good, man. Like I don't remember in the last year feeling like this good about like a slug win. Like honestly, because it feels like whenever we've won, we never actually played a complete game. Like we kind of like let the opposition back in, or we played sloppy cricket for a part of the game. I know we had 2 dropped catches today, but like other than the 2 dropped catches, really we played clinical cricket the whole game, and it's just like, oh, this feels like I'm watching like old Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh, like when we were just like dominant. It was like, so that was kind of nice, man. It's like taking it old school. So yeah.
What did you think of the lineup? What do you think of having the way it was split? Are you
talking about like the bowlers or the batsmen? Or
the bowlers.
The 7-4 lineup.
Yeah.
I like the lineup. The only thing is, I'm a little bit concerned about Shanaka because he seemed to like get into a bad patch of form lately. I know like this game was like he was batting in a situation where it didn't really matter so much, but then it's still like a little bit concerning how he's not really even getting past the start in the last few games. But then other than that, I really like the lineup because I think actually it allows our batsmen to bat with a bit more freedom when you have a 7-4 lineup, where when you have 6 batsmen, you kind of get worried about like, oh, if we lose a few early wickets, like then we're in trouble. But then, and then also to be honest, the other thing as well is I think Hasaranga's not consistent enough with the bat to me to like be batting him at 7. I think it's like too risky. So I'd rather Hasaranga focus on his bowling as well.
Strategically, if they approach having 7 batters as a license to play freely, then it's a strategy you want to pursue, right? Because if they're saying, all right, that means we can go absolutely mad and go for runs, I'm all for that. But if they're going to play 7 batters and then they're going to come out and play dot balls, that to me, that's where you get concerned. I love seeing Hasaranga put his foot down and just smash a huge 6 to say, you know what, I'm not dealing with this.
Yeah, for sure.
Shane, what changes would you make for the next game? It's Hong Kong, China. Sorry, to give them their full name. Like, do we stick with these boys and let them find more form, or do we try and give the other lads in the squad who should have enough to beat Hong Kong? If we consider ourselves a serious cricket team, there should be enough rotation here.
Yeah, I would probably give it one more game with Shanaka and just see if we can get his form. And then so like even if like we are chasing a low total, like I'll just like promote him and see what he does with the bat. Pathirana, it's kind of tricky because it's like if he does well against Hong Kong, like who cares as well? Like, can he actually do well against the proper teams? So I'm a little bit concerned about Pathirana, man, because it seems that like he only performs well when he actually plays for Chennai. Like he doesn't really do anything for us. So I'm not sure, like with him, to be honest. I think Panura has actually probably been better than him lately.
So for me, I think this is an interesting point you bring up about Pathirana. For me, I think he's definitely got to play because I think he needs form, and I think we need to figure out what the coaches, the management team need to figure out what they do in CSK to get him playing and bowling so well. I will say, I know Nick has followed his career very closely. The last kind of almost a year coming into this, Nick, he's not been in the form he showed in previous years, right?
Yeah, I think that's a fair point, Marky. But I think it's also really important to say that, like, if you look back at all bowlers' careers, their progress isn't linear, right? I've been doing some stuff on Bumrah at the moment, and I was looking at his third season in the IPL, 2015, where he had an absolute stinker, man. He was going at 12s. I think he played 4 games. He was getting smashed for loads of 6s in all of them. What I think is like really important to point out, and what's just wild to me, is that Pathirana's played 20 T20Is. Like, this guy's been around for 4 or 5 years now, and it feels like he's never had the full backing of the Sri Lanka management, regardless of who that is, which is what they've given him at CSK from day one, right? They've been really clear about the role that he's going to bowl. He bowled the first over the other day for Sri Lanka. Like, it's great to see him doing that, but I've never seen him do it in any way. There just doesn't seem to be the same kind of like trust or clarity or communication between him and the Sri Lankan management as he clearly has with Dhoni and Fleming. And like, I mean, I take the kind of point that Binura has at times been more reliable than Pathirana, but I think you're just looking at a guy with such a high ceiling and who can crack games when other bowlers can't, that I feel like Sri Lanka got to give him a long leash, and that really he should be playing every game where he's available as long as his body can hold up to it. Because like, I think this guy could be such a special bowler if he's handled right and if he can grow.
And Nick.
Yeah, actually, I agree with you.
No, go ahead, Lycon. Go for it.
Oh no, I was going to say. Sorry, I was just going to say I agree with Nick. Like, actually, because I think what I like about the makeup of this team is it's all out attack. There's no like we're having a play here to be conservative and just try to be consistent. It's like we're trying to get wickets. We're trying to score fast. So actually, Pathirana is a much better wicket-taking option. So I would like to see it be the competition between Pathirana and Thikshana, I think, because I think they're both wicket-taking options. Like, Thikshana can be a wicket-taking option with the new ball because he gets it to swing, and Pathirana can be a wicket-taking option in the back end. So I think they're the two people that should be competing for that spot.
Yeah, and I think that's right. And I think that might be the spin seaming combination adjustment, is that you drop Pathirana and you bring in Thikshana. The other thing about Pathirana is, even in those 20 games, Nick, he's taken 31 wickets. He's getting you 1.5 wickets a match. That's a wicket taker. And yes, sometimes match winners aren't going to perform for you, but we know that if Pathirana gets it right, he is capable of winning you some matches against teams that you wouldn't be able to beat.
Sorry, can I just say one thing quickly? I was just going to say, how much do you think the problem with Pathirana is we don't know how to set fields and plans for him, unlike CSK and Dhoni and stuff?
See, from what I saw today, I thought the over at the end that he bowled, he just wasn't hitting his line of length, to be honest. I mean, no field in the world is going to stop a wide, right? I also think I basically had nightmares overnight about England scoring 300. I think India have a 300 score in them as well. And I think that's totally changed the way teams are going to have to approach playing T20 cricket. I think you're going to have to come in going, we need to get 7-8 wickets. You can't try and contain anymore. is containing. Sri Lanka have just about in the last 2 games showed that maybe they can chase 200 runs. If you have to turn around now and go, actually, guys, sorry, the bar's been moved ahead. We need to figure out how we chase 300 runs. You're like, yeah, again, we're behind the 8 ball on this, right? So I think we've got to try and when we're figuring out our 20 overs and how we're going to manage them, we've now got to look for getting wickets. We can't let Sky have a day out, right? With that India lineup, all the top 5 could all absolutely destroy us. We can't let them get away from us. Shane, I'm going to let you go only because there's loads of people lined up. Dineth will come to you shortly. Nillard, come back on. How's the mic doing?
Can you guys hear me now?
Yeah. Man. How's it going? You got
Pretty
a lot
good.
of kudos after your last appearance, by the way. Loads of people commenting, being like, that kid knows more about cricket than me, which is probably true. You probably do know more about cricket than I do. How do you find the game today?
I was pretty happy with the performance. I thought we bowled really well at the start, and there was really good energy in the field. You could kind of tell. Mishara and Mishara bowled well. I thought Mishara bowled really well in the death. Like he was nailing those Yorkers at the end. I thought Pathirana, he sprayed him a little bit in his last over, but I guess like we got to keep giving him games to kind of for him to find his feet. I thought Nissanka and Kamil Mishara batted well. I mean, Nissanka's been batting well for a long time now, but it's good to see Kamil Mishara score runs because that was a problem Sri Lanka was having with their number 3 and number 4 not being able to get runs. And also when Mishara is batting like at a quick strike rate, it also not a lot of pressure on Nissanka, so he's able to play his natural game, which is good, which we saw today.
When Bangladesh dropped to Mishara, what was your thoughts at that moment?
Yeah, I was really nervous. I was like thinking, I was a bit nervous at the innings break, thinking, oh, like we've choked some of those like iffy chases, but then after he got dropped, he actually started batting really well after that. He hit that 6 over mid wicket, and then he just started he started batting really well.
I felt that moment kind of turned the chase on its head, right? Like up until then, it was a really nervy power play, and then suddenly that drop catch, and he broke free like 6-4-4 off the next 4 balls, and then you were like, "This is going to be like regulation." But up until then, I was on the edge of my seat a little bit.
And the mentality, right? How brilliant is that? Not to be on the back foot after a drop catch, but saying, "All right, I've got lady luck going my way. I'm gonna just pump him for 6 and then 2 more 4s," and that just basically sent us on our merry way. And I just want to pick up on something Nilan said. Pathirana only gave up 3 boundaries, right? So he gave up 2 4s and a 6. So it's not as if he was, bowling really bad balls. His bad balls were the wides, right? That was the difference. And the more he bowls, the more he's going to be confident in hitting that line and length.
Yeah, I that's what I mean. I think we just got to play him. I think for me, he's got to play the next game. Nilan, who what would your 11 be? I'll take that. Sanuda's wrote, this kid's ball knowledge is 9999 plus. Nilan, who's your 11 for the next game? Who's coming in? Who's coming out?
Because it's against Hong Kong, I think give Charmika Karunaratne a chance instead of Shanaka. And then also that means we'll get like 5 good as you guys were saying, we only had 4 bowlers. Now we'll be able to get like 20 good overs in. Maybe give Welala a game, but I can't really see who he'll swap in for.
I wonder. So I think Weller's got to play the next game. I think Banuru's got to play the next game as well, just in case there's. For me, I'd be looking to rotate it, get people some game time. Just in case there's injuries. We know when Sri Lanka turn up to major tournaments, that's when we're at our physically most fragile in recent years. So we try and mix it all up. Nilan, I'm going to let you go because we've got people backstage. Thank you for joining us. Just hang about till you're fully uploaded as well. Wicked. Dinner, thanks for joining us today, bro. How's it going?
It's going good. How about you?
Yeah, good. It's my last day in New York. Well, I'm leaving tomorrow afternoon, probably just after the India-Pakistan game. I think we are planning to do a live. Obviously, it won't be called Murali End; it'll be called something else. You have to wait and see. But we'll have some live reaction to the game tomorrow. So if you guys if you're watching it, you want to get involved. Hopefully, it should be a not so partisan view. We can take a wider view of it. But yeah, come and join us. Right, Dineth, what do you think of the game today then?
I thought it was amazing. The bowling was really good at the start. I mean, it was kind of funny, honestly, watching. Like, I don't know. It's good to be on this side of the aisle when we're, when the other team's struggling in the power play. Keeping them to 2 wicket maidens in the first 2 overs is kind of ridiculous. I think even the commentators were saying it's like watching a test match. And yeah. And Chamir, I like that guy's so good. Like he's just so good. Watching him bowl is so nice. He hits his lengths. Something about his action. He gets this really good bounce, and his pace is so good. And then of course on the batting, Mishara, really happy that he seems to be getting into this role. Obviously, he does have a habit of having these nervy starts, like we saw against Zimbabwe. But as he gets confident, he almost looks like he's a real clean striker of the ball. So very encouraging stuff overall.
Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzed by it. I think there's things we can work on. I think actually everything that I saw that we can work on, I felt was kind of tactical stuff and kind of game management. And we're showing great kind of aptitude for the game all of a sudden again, right, Nick?
Absolutely, man. And like it started, I felt with the way Tashara bowled that first over just brought like intensity into the whole team, right? Especially with the wicket off that last ball, you could just feel everyone buzzing in the field. And like those moments are just amazing when Charith drops a catch and then you get a freak run out the next ball. It's going to be your day. And that kind of feeling for a side, I think Sri Lanka felt right from the first 4 or 5 overs. We can't lose this game. We just got to keep doing what we're doing, and God's smiling upon us. And yeah, it was, as you say, Marky, just really nice to start a tournament right for once, not to have a disaster straight out the gate, and to go into Monday feeling in really good spirits, like that we can keep the same 11. We can have a little shift around. It doesn't matter because the team's, I'm sure, confident and buzzing and feeling really good right now.
I think that's a huge point too, is that confidence. Sri Lanka has always been a confidence team. They show, if they do it, then they start to believe that they can do it, and then their real talent comes out. And to Dineth's point, Chamira was bowling some real heat. He was touching 147, 146, 145. It was not like, oh, I'm just hitting line and length. It was some serious pace. So it's so good to see him. And speaking of people who are in form, we didn't even touch on this, but Jay writes, so good to see Hasaranga back in form. Dineth, I'm curious, what do you think of Hasaranga's comeback performance?
I mean, it's like you always say, Dom, like he really is like the X factor. Like as much as, and I have also been critical of his batting, but when he comes onto the field, there's just something like he's coming back from an injury. He hasn't played in an international game in some time. And even then, you could see, like, whenever he bowls, you really, truly feel like he's about to something's going to happen. Like, he's going to take a wicket or he's going to stifle the batsman. And he did really well today. It felt like, even though, 2 for 21, I felt like he could have gotten a wicket any of those other deliveries. And he was fielding really well, too. Right? That was another thing. I think there was one funny point where the batsman, like, defended a delivery off of Hasaranga. And Hasaranga was like, he dove to his right to obviously to field, and then Kusal Mendes was yelling over the stumps, easy, like take it easy, you're putting in too much effort. So it's good to see that the team is, at least Kusal Mendes is taking this kind of let's treat him very carefully approach, because they seem to know how valuable he is, right?
Yeah, I saw that, and I thought that was quite a funny moment as well. I'm just looking forward to see what Hasaranga does at the bat, right? Because I kind of feel when Russell Arnold came on the show a few weeks ago and he called him out, I wasn't expecting him to say that, and I wonder if that there's greater pressure coming from other parts of the Sri Lankan cricket establishment on his batting now, because if he could fix that, if he could become a effective batter in T20 cricket, you just think like the Like he could be, you know, one of the greatest players in the world at the moment. And I feel it's like we've just been waiting for him to kind of fully develop on the world stage, right, Nick?
Yeah, triple threat, baby. He's just got to put it all together. But I felt like today it looked like he had a little bit of his swagger back. Like those first 2 overs he bowled, he was just all over every Bangladesh batter like a rash, and no one was picking him. Everything was on the stumps. There weren't any bad balls, and it was beautiful to see. It was like, no, I felt like it was the best I could remember seeing him bowl, and he was buzzing in the field. So I've still got a little space in my heart for Wanindu the floater, and I wonder whether we might see it come out at some time during this tournament. I'm here for it if it does, and I'd love to see him get a big score with the bat, because when he comes in and starts taking bowlers down, it's a beautiful thing to watch.
You know, Nick, I wonder whether the Hong Kong match
be a great time, right, Dom?
Yeah, you know, you get 2 down and you say, all right, let's go and just smash some guys around. I want to bring up Savina's point, because I felt this. Me too. My heart skipped a beat when he got that ball with the large steps and the diving. Every time he dives, rolls on the ground, I'm like, please get up. Please get up. But you also forget how gun of a fielder he is. Even though he's not as cat quick as he once was, he's still great.
And I feel like he's one of those players who, like, confidence from one format feeds into all the others, right? And like once he starts to bowl well, he's buzzing around in the field even more, and I feel like that'll feed into his batting.
We are forgetting our boy Kussel's keeping. That's from Sanuda. I thought he was sensational today, wasn't he? I want to ask you guys a question, though, and I'll come to you first with this, Dineth. If Sri Lanka were in a situation where, God forbid, they were ever 55 for 5, right? Can you see them rebuilding an innings to 140 in the 20 overs? Because I was watching Bangladesh do this, and I was like, I'm just not sure Sri Lanka have this in their locker. When we start to catastrophize pretty quickly, and when one thing goes wrong, then the second thing goes wrong, and if we got to a stage where we were two down for no runs after 2 overs. Oh gosh, I don't know what would happen. I'd be on the statins, like, immediately. Well, I actually, you know, it's not, you know, begrudgingly, Bangladesh won my respect today, the way they rebuilt that innings and put on a score that was actually, you know, obviously not enough in the end, but quite decent, right?
Yeah, I mean, like you say, they'd certainly fought back. We just took too much out of them in that power play, right? For them to kind of really capitalize onto it, like a defensible score in the end. But Jakar Ali has always been a really good player. He kind of has that clutch gene, even in that ODI. I think it was in Sri Lanka, right? Maybe the first ODI where he was trying to like bat with the tail and kind of save the game by himself. He seems to have, like, there are certain players you can tell, like, I think Kamil Mishara is one of these players who bat well in certain pressure situations, who kind of, they take it upon themselves. They take upon a certain responsibility. You know, to answer your question, if we were 53 for 5, right? I wouldn't bet. I mean, I think most teams are probably not likely to get to 140. I think we could, but yeah, it would certainly be quite an uphill battle because we're not known for our solid lower middle order.
No, I thought it had shades of, was it Dallas where we lost to them in the US, Dom?
Oh my gosh, where we lost to them, we were 100 for 2 in the 14th over, and then Rashad Hussain ripped through us and took 2 and 2, and basically we were all out for 125. You know what other game this reminded me of? In 2022, we played New Zealand, and we started off really well. We had them at like 39 for 4, and then we dropped Glenn Phillips. We dropped Glenn Phillips off of Hasaranga, and he goes on to score 100, and they make like 135, and then we just get crushed.
We should have won that. I just want to bring this comment up, right? Deekshana Praveen has said Kamindu's impact in cricket for in the last 2 T20 games is a perfect 0. A good sign. It is a good sign, right? Because it means he's not having to do anything, which, considering he's batting right in the middle and he's like our 7th choice bowler at this point. I think that's 7th choice batter, 7th choice bowler, or maybe 6th choice batter. If they're not having to do much, that's pretty good. I mean, we're not in kind of mid 2000s 2010s territory yet, where we have that whole the problem's going to be is that eventually, with our middle orders called upon, they've got no experience. We're not there yet, guys. Let's not get carried away. This is a win against a terrible Bangladesh performance. Not a bad Bangladesh team, but a bad performance today in the opening game for the Asia Cup. There's still a lot of cricket to go. This is Sri Lanka. Absolutely anything can happen, right? Dennis, I think we'll let you go now, if that's all right. If you just hang around in the back while we upload. Thank you for joining us. If anyone else wants to come on and have a chat with us, please do. Should we? Hold on, there you go. All in our boxes again. Nick, I'll come to you. Hong Kong, you're not keen on changes for this team, right? You want to go with it?
You know what? I've been turned during the course of this episode. It's a quick turnaround. Monday's only a couple days away. I like Neelan's idea of giving Chamaka a run out in Shanaka's spot to see how he's looking, because he was really good in those, blue, grey, green, whatever the hell that tournament was called recently. So if they want to make a couple changes, I'm not totally opposed to it. You made a good point too, Marky, about injuries. It's got to be a matter of time before one of the seamers breaks down. So I'm not too fussed what the 11 is they pick. I think the important thing is that it's another really polished, positive performance. I'd love to see them bat first and try and put up a big total. Like really flex some muscle and get even more good vibes going into that Afghanistan game.
Dominic, last two performances, we've seen incredible batting from our new number 3. Can he keep this up?
Well, my answer is I hope he does, but the way he plays, what it seems like he's a batter who's full of intent. He looks to score runs. He's going to get out sometimes for low scores, and that's okay. Especially as we were talking, if we are playing with 7 batters, we've got to let these guys play their natural aggressive games, right? Okay, if we are down 53 for 5, maybe we can talk about consolidating and bringing it back. But I'd really like to see those top 4 go really hard and be aggressive. Yeah, I think Nick brought up a really interesting point about chasing. It's very clear this team likes to chase. I think they like themselves in a chase. Last Asia Cup when they won, they backed themselves in a chase. So I think it would be good, right? Like, yes, you would like to do that, but you're not always going to have the chance to do it. So you want to kind of have a platform, a way to set up your big scores, because I think particularly Kusal and Pathum are really good at pacing a chase. But when it comes to setting a score, I think that can be tricky, because I think the attacking mindset brings the question of what is par on this pitch. And as you said, Mark, with England scoring 300, par is not I don't think it's going to be 160 for much longer. I think we need to think carefully about what a good performance with the bat looks like when we bat first.
Yeah, I really think that game, yes, they could, we might not get another 300 score for a decade, right? But it could turn out to be quite a watermark moment, right? I think it's with T20 cricket in general, the pattern is we've seen basically a devaluing of what it means to lose your wicket. So now it's hit or go. Like, we all remember the watershed moment might have been when Ashwin decided that he wasn't scoring quick enough and just walked off, right? When he retired himself. But the problem is Sri Lanka have ended up in a situation where we're not producing enough players who can find the boundary quick enough. They'd definitely be working on kind of cut down number of dot balls. I actually think that's a large reason why Jonathan Lianage got called up to the squad last minute, because he rotates strike, right? The problem is now, if you look at the way England did it yesterday, can we chase down the 250? Right? Do you think we could chase down the 250? Nick is nodding in disagreement, saying he doesn't think we can. Dominic is laughing nervously.
I could see it happening. They got 191 in 17.3 overs against Zimbabwe.
Could they do a 250 consistently? Like if we,
I don't know anyone can do it consistently though.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of when you're putting it together, you got to figure out, could you do it consistently? How many? What is the boundary percentage? Right, that is what we're looking at. It's interesting. Obviously, we follow this team about as closely as anyone else does. We know that Pathum's strike rate is improving, is in an upward trajectory. But listening to the commentators during the game, I can't remember who it was talking about how his strike rate stuck at about 140 or kind of between 130 and 140, which I thought was not true. But I suppose if you're looking at the raw data, that's what it's kind of telling you, right? So
I think, Mark, the asterisk I put there is on, and that includes a lot of games on pitches that take turn, where par is 150, right? So yes, maybe his strike rate is around 140, but if you consider that, I think there you might want to look at that true strike rate number that is so often brought up. I don't have it on me right now, but it tells you how much faster they bat than all the other batters in the game. I can pull it up and see, but I think it's a bit unfair to him to say that's his limit, because
I agree, but I wonder if because if you look at it, we end the power play probably generally about 8 or 9 runs and over, and then when it's going well, we get to about the 10th over on around 10 runs and over. I'm basically using the sample size of the last 2 games at this point, right? So you're like, we're around 200. If we needed to push on beyond that, do we have it? Because I'm going to suggest that if we're turning up with 4 bowlers, then we're going to get big scores against us. At some point.
You're saying, Marky, like on a road, can everyone strike at 200 plus, like fairly consistently? And I think at this stage, probably not. Like you'll get those innings where Kusal goes big and gets 7 or 20, but can you get that contribution from everyone fairly consistently? I think this team still needs to prove that and needs to play more cricket on those kind of surfaces to have a chance to do it.
Absolutely.
Go on.
Yeah, I was going to say my last thing that I'll add is, remember, against this Bangladesh side, Kusal and Pathum got 78 off of like 4.5 overs. So my pathway to this is basically them going big and then maybe someone like KJP just going crazy. It's not something they can repeat, but I think that's the question about Dasan Shanaka. Shanaka is the one guy who can provide that flourish. Let's all not forget what he did against Australia when he brought us 59 in 3 overs. If you're going to get to 250, you need someone to do something like that.
That was 4 years ago, though, Dom. That was a little while ago now. Fair. Guys, should we leave it there? We'll be back after we'll be back talking about Sri Lanka after the game against Hong Kong on Monday. Some of us will be back tomorrow after the India Pakistan game. I feel like that is just a game of cricket the 3 of us can just watch and enjoy and not get too caught up in the politics which feels like a relief, because every time I open up Twitter, it feels like I've got to take a side on that. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. This will be available as a podcast shortly. Please tell all your friends and family about us if they don't know about it already. We'll be in the Murali End. Thanks a lot. And I need to do you know what I'm going to do? Before we leave, I'm going to play the intro. I'm going to play that again.
Nice.
It's the Murali End, you're in a place to be. Analyze the players and the team. Keep a great company in the stream.
It's a Murali End. Welcome to the show. We're here when you're high. We're here when you're low. Some days you're happy, some days you wanna when happy. It's we when mad, it's them. It's the same place, Murali End Sri Lanka cricket we gon' represent. So tell a friend.